He had been a special assistant to the Department of Homeland Security. He'd also worked for Donald Trump in 2024 presidential campaign. Boy, that'll make you qualified. And attended the 2024 Republican National Convention. That's a hard event to get into, right? It's got to be like a real guy. And to tell you the truth, that's it. That's who he is. He's the guy. You look him up. Back with you. Sir, we had a little fun and I think made some interesting points out of the last video, but obviously circumstances changed. When I made that last video, we were not at war. That is not the case today. We are at war. And it was a war as all of them are going to be. We don't know how it's going to end. It's like, as people say, it's like kicking a door down that you don't know what's behind it. I think it's important to examine the three people that are conducting this war. One is Donald John Trump, who none of us think, if you're watching this, has the mental capacity or the intellectual curiosity to lead a nation at any time, much less one at war. Now, I'll say this and I'll say it again. I would bet anybody, and none of you would take the bet, that if you showed him a globe and asked him to point to Iran, he would know where the shit it is. Okay. So we have, in Israel, you have Bibi Netanyahu, who was presided over the greatest act of negligence the last 75 years on October 7th, 2023, who also, I might add, is in the middle of a criminal trial for accepting bribes. I think that's the case, but be sure that you double check me on that. But I think it's an ongoing process. And to say that he has reasons to stay in power is, well, he has reasons to stay in power. And then you have a 86-year-old, I don't know, Ayatollah, dictator. God knows how you describe this guy. But if I told you that I'm not too sure he's the most temperate, judicious human being on earth, I think you would believe me. So, and we don't know, we're actually talking about nuclear bombs here. And okay. And now the Russians out there, probably, who knows, said, well, they might be willing to give Iran a nuke. Iran's announced that it's closing the Straits of Hormuz. You probably know what it is, but I think like 1/5 of all the world's petroleum passes through there on any given day, and probably 30% of the world's natural gas. But it's a lot. It's a lot. And I want to draw your attention to a couple of things about this war. The first is that our intelligence service says, at least it's reported, Tulsi Gabbard, who is the DNI, the job is, it's me, I didn't appoint her, said that the CIA didn't think that they had a nuclear bomb. They were not close to producing one. Trump said he doesn't believe them. And so I would ask my representatives in Washington to say, well, if you're representing us, can you find out if they were right or if they were wrong? And if they were wrong, why do we pay them? Why do we? I don't know how much. I suppose the CIA budget is some black box item that we can't know how much it is. I mean, they're not the only people in intelligence. The Defense Department intelligence, State Department intelligence, everybody in the world's got an intelligence service. And it is fair to ask, what did Donald Trump know? When did he know it? Who told him what? Who did he choose to believe? Who did he choose not to believe? I'm just asking questions, but I think it is your duty as a citizen to ask these questions. And what can you do? You can write, you can email your congressman, your senator, you can demand answers, you can do 1,001 things, but this is a legitimate question. Now, one of the things that we do know that this sets off a certain chain reaction, and the danger of terrorism is actually more than it's ever been before. And I think a question that you have to ask yourself is who's in charge of this? Who's making sure that, the country's safe? I mean, there's got to be somebody in there that's kind of running this show, right? The person that is in charge of counterterrorism in the Department of Homeland Security is a gentleman by the name of Thomas C. Fugate. Now, understand what I'm getting ready to tell you. Like I say, this is my opinion. I'm going to read to you from Wikipedia, which in my experience is pretty reliable, and I don't think there's been any contradiction to this. The first thing about Mr. Fugate is Thomas C. Fugate III. I didn't even know when he was born. It says born 2002 or 2003. Like, who in the United States is born in this century? He doesn't know when they're born, but he's either 25, 23 years old or 24. But let's spot him the extra year and say that the head of the entire Homeland domestic terrorism operation is a 24-year-old whose responsibilities were expanded to include serving as director of the Center for Prevention Programs and Partnerships. So we have a 24-year-old that is in this most critical government position you can imagine. He graduated in politics and law. I think that's an undergraduate degree from the University of Texas at San Antonio in 2024. Guy's just out of college. I guess he graduated like a year ago, May. Maybe he's been, let's give him credit. He's been out of college for 13 months. He succeeded counterterrorism scholar, and he was Bill Braniff, who, by the way, is a graduate of the United States Military Academy and the Johns Hopkins School of International Relations, who resigned following the cutting of staff at the center. Fugate had been a special assistant to the Department of Homeland Security. He'd also worked for Donald Trump in 2024 presidential campaign. Boy, that'll make you qualified. And attended the 2024 Republican National Convention. That's a hard event to get into, right? It's got to be like a real guy. And to tell you the truth, that's it. That's who he is. He's the guy. You look him up. This is the person. It's not just protecting you, protecting your family, your children, your homeland, everything. So as we proceed, we will find out a lot more. Of course, I'm watching closely. I'm watching all of the people beat the war drums because, well, we're beating war drums now. We have no idea where this is going. We have people talking about nuclear weapons, like they're talking about 4th of July fireworks or something. So a little bit more sober now, a little bit more serious. One other thing I'll tell you, if you look at my background, I'm at the Chautauqua Institution in Western New York, which might be the generally like do travel advice, but might be the most amazing place in the United States. And, there's no danger that Donald Trump has come to the Chautauqua Institution because it revolves around culture and lecture and arts and literature and history and all of the shit that he doesn't know anything about. But at any rate, it's nice to be out here, but my country is at war, and we should all take this seriously. We should all demand to know what was he told, what our intelligence agents say before we rush headlong this. And what about Mr. Fugate? Can we bring him up and get him to testify so we can find out what he's learned in his 13 months since he's been out of college? Maybe we should. But anyway, as they say, good day, or good night, or good day. I guess it's a good day, maybe by night it has. And well, good luck because we're going to need good luck. Thank you.